Howdy folks, TJ Mack here, and today we are diving the Spiegel Grove. We are diving with a dive company called Conch Republic Divers. It was a really great dive. Wanted to share it with you guys. The current was absolutely ripping. You can see we're having to pull ourselves across this line just to get to where we need to descend and pull our way all the way down until we get down to about 100 feet where the wreck is sitting at the top. Once we get down there, the current is a lot calmer and a lot of cool things to see, so check it out. Like I said, we're diving the Spiegel Grove. It is a wreck, an artificial reef that was purposely sunk. The depth that we're going to hit is about 110 feet, which is the deepest we've dove. We've been 103 feet before. That was in Mexico, diving in the cenotes, but this one was a little deeper. I had having a sinus problem as well, so I'm going down this rope pretty slow because I'm having to equalize here and there. I had a bad headache. I ended up having a nosebleed after this dive, so not all great stuff, but made it happen anyway. I'm following Savannah there. I always try to keep her in front of me so I can keep an eye on her in case anything goes wrong, and let her see all the cool things first anyhow. So we're getting down to the bottom. The current is starting to get a little less bad while we're down here, so a little bit better for swimming around. You can see we'll let go of the rope here in a second and swim around, and can't wait to show you what we see. So we got down to the top of the deck on this wreck, started exploring a little bit. There's a turret there. It's an old Navy ship. When our guide is like, hey, there's this cool spot. She let us know before the dive that there's an American flag that we can get a photo with. So definitely wanted to do that. We're on our way there. She points out to a giant black grouper, a mongo, right over there. You can see in the screen. And pretty sweet. That's the biggest one I've seen underwater. So I'm headed over to the American flag. When I glance over and point this out, boom, shark. This is my first experience diving with sharks this big. They're reef sharks, so nothing crazy, but they were huge. Really cool to see them. We get the photo with the flag. I was really hoping the sharks would go right behind us for this photo, but didn't end up being able to see them. But really cool photo either way. You see there's absolute giant African pompanos swimming with that shark. Yeah, I'm obviously really stoked. Throw up a heart to Savannah. She loves it too. She's having an issue with her camera here. I try and slam it down, but one of the camera lenses was being blocked. It needed to be lower in the housing, but didn't make it. That's okay. So we started swimming over near the superstructure portion of the ship, checking things out. You can see they dove down. Savannah spots another shark. Really cool shot there, I thought. Sharks all over this wreck. Really, really cool. Swim right under the superstructure there. Continuing on, following our guide, Mama J. She is awesome. We love her. If you ever dive with Conch Republic Divers, she would be a great guide to have. So we continue on here, swimming underneath some of the other superstructure portions, following our guide. We don't have a lot of bottom time here because the depth, we aren't used to diving this deep, so the air consumption goes a lot faster at these depths. So we keeping our eye on that, keep checking it and making sure we're all good, and keep swimming and trying not to use too much oxygen. I really thought this part of the wreck was really cool. These are just like I-beams, just like a bunch of them, and the coral just absolutely loved it and attached to it. There's a lot of soft corals, a lot of life in here. Can't really tell on camera, but she was saying too that like there's a bunch of octopus through there and a bunch of different life. I thought it was really, really cool. Barrel sponge right there. Pretty epic. There's Savannah. So Mama J knows I like to spearfish, so she's pointing out all these manga black groupers. That thing down there, you can't tell on video, but it was huge. You can hear my excitement. I wish I could have gotten closer to it, but that's like, I don't know, 150 feet. My no deco time was already getting pretty low, so I was trying to ascend more than descend. I can't really tell what it was there on my watch, but I got down to 7 minutes or 6 minutes at one point, so I was trying to keep an eye on it, staying a little bit above them. If you've never dove a wreck before, I definitely recommend it. Our first one was about 2 months before this, over Thanksgiving. We did a trip to the Grand Cayman and dove the kiddie wake there, and it was absolutely incredible. We got to go inside. It was gorgeous. You can see doing this little swim through here. I look at my no deco time, like we're getting close, but oh well, I'll descend a little bit and do this through here and just keep an eye on it. Savannah gets through flawlessly. And now we're underneath those I-beams at this point. Pretty cool. At this point, we start making our way back towards where we descended so we can just be in the general area whenever we're ready to descend. Our air's beginning to get a little low here. Not low, but we wanted to turn back around 1800. If you don't know, you get like 3,000 to 3,200 psi per tank. So we just want to be at about the halfway point before we, before we start headed back. Our guide there, Mama J, is chasing down a shark. She got some really awesome videos. I'll share those on my social media. But the life on this wreck was crazy, and not just that, what we did see on this wreck was huge. The biggest African pompanos ever, big black groupers, big Caribbean reef sharks, big parrotfish. Like it was awesome. Some other divers there going inside and out. So now we're swimming around the top again. You see another big Caribbean reef shark there, cruising with a bunch of other smaller fish. And I can't tell what they are from here, but the one had those African pompanos. I know I keep talking about them, but I'm just like blown away by the size of them. Savannah's over there exploring. We're just kind of staying up top here now. Just that way when we're ready to ascend, we're nearby the mooring ball. So here we're starting our ascent back up to the boat. Big old barracuda is up there. You can see behind them there, but heading up to do our safety stop. You can see some more divers coming up behind us. We ended with plenty of air here. We were just being a little conservative. First time diving with this guide. She called it our get to know you dive. So we were pretty conservative. They're already at their safety stop location. If you don't know, you have to, after a long dive like that, or a deep dive, you've got to stop at about 20-foot depth and let your body release nitrogen, and you just have to do it every time, so for safety purposes. So we're going to do our 3 minutes here where they are, and the current was ripping still. We're all just kind of holding on to the same spot, and then we do our surface interval and jump back in for the next dive. So here we are starting our second dive. I'm just going to go ahead and skip through to the parts of interest so that save time on this video. You've already seen around a couple of different spots on this wreck. So we sat up on the surface for 45 minutes before we did our next dive. It's a requirement when you're diving this deep. So yeah, check out what we see on the second dive. So when we get down there, we immediately start seeing these huge barracuda and, of course, the sharks. So we're chasing them down for a nice video. Mama J got pretty close to that one. That was pretty cool. Very cool shot there. We're headed down to the bow of the ship so we can do a Titanic photo. Big barracuda. Can't really tell in this video here, but this is absolutely the biggest hogfish I've ever seen in my life right there. Monster. She's throwing her hands up because she knows that would make like 35 tacos. Big boy. Big boy there. These fish are protected. Boom, boom. These fish are protected here. They can't be speared, so probably the reason they get so big. So we're approaching the bow of the ship. We want to do our Titanic photo. So Mama J's swimming out there. Yeah, we gotta get set up. Savannah kind of struggles here. The current's pushing us to the left, from right to left of the screen. So we kind of struggle to get position, but we end up getting a good picture. And Savannah runs into the boat there. She's struggling, but it ended up working out. So we start swimming back, and I didn't notice it on the way out, but look at those chains. They're enormous. I can't imagine. Those are obviously the anchor chains for this old ship, but wow. Absolutely gigantic. Really cool to see that. This whole wreck was really, really amazing. Get a little bit farther up, and we get to do a little swim through. Pretty cool. Check it out. Really, really tight quarters here, trying to get through here. Especially with the coral growing off the sides. Savannah does a really good job of staying off of everything, but still the paddle strokes kick sand up from those two going on in front of me. Or the fin strokes, not the paddle strokes. I did grab the wall there and push myself forward. But man, that was really cool to be able to do. Come out of the side of the boat there. So cool. So we swim for a while along the side of the ship and end up coming around, and absolute giant barracuda swims right out in front of us as we're coming around the corner. Look at these things. Barracuda don't really scare me, but when they're that size, I'm just like, I question them. I keep my eye on them. Big boys. And the sharks were definitely the highlight of the wildlife on these dives. They kept just coming back for more. They didn't get spooked off by the bubbles or anything. You can see here, there's a couple more swimming by right there. It's so cool how they just glide across the water like that. See there, those fish right there to the left are amberjacks, and one of the one out in front had to be 4 feet long. It was giant. I know I keep saying that, but man, the size of the fish on this wreck were huge. So that brings us to our second ascent. We're gonna head up and end this dive, and this dive day was absolutely incredible. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. We'll see you on the next one.